Well, that was an ugly first half by the Chicago Bulls. What's going on? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bulls. Since we ain't even doing the intro, none of that, because what the hell is that? 63 to 44. The Chicago Bulls find themselves down to the Indiana Pacers. And the Bulls just look disconnected. They don't look like they're ready to go. Like, I don't even know exactly, like, they're not only defensively are they bad, but offensively we're bad. We're 4 of 17 from three-point line right now. Thank God we haven't taken like 33 pointers despite us shooting it like crap. We're 19 of 44 overall from the field right now for 43%. We only have one player scoring double figures. That's Nikola Vucevic. But we got 9 from Josh Giddey, 9 from Zach LaVine, 1 from Patrick Williams, and 5 from Kobe White. Kobe's 2 for 7 right now from the field. What I've come to realize is that I can no longer say that Kobe White's out of a slump, because every time I say it, he goes right back into it. So that's been a bit of a struggle for Kobe as well in this game. Pascal Siakam has 16. Thomas Bryant has 11 in this game. And listen, Benedict Mathurin and Tyrese Halliburton are combined 4 of 12 right now from the field, right? They're for 11 points. So the players that you really got to expect to do a lot of the heavy lifting for the Pacers on offense haven't even really begun to do that. So if either one of those players wake up, it's going to be a very ugly second half for the Chicago Bulls. They got to get their shit together. And if they don't, it's going to be ugly. The turnovers, man. Turnovers definitely have been an ugly thing for the Chicago Bulls. 14 turnovers in this game so far for the Bulls. And off those turnovers, the Pacers have 10 points in that. Now, the Bulls have seven points off turnovers themselves, but the turnovers are just keeping the momentum from being able to be in the game right now. Yeah, and the Bulls look flat. They're still exhausted from the last game. Listen, I can't even give them credit for that. It's not like they played a back-to-back. It's not even like they played a back-to-back. So you should be able to recover. You're a professional athlete. You should be able to recover. You should be able to recover. The Pacers aren't even that good, bro. That's not true. The Pacers are like, Staxy. Sometimes, bro, you say things you could tell you're not really like. Just because they're not Boston or the Cavs doesn't mean that they're not good. The Pacers are have been the best offense in the NBA for the past 20 games, bro. Come on, man. Haize, I understand that the team may have your number, but this is a perfect example of a team just not giving a shit, not to mention their star players not even having a good game. Yeah, bro, it's bad. It's bad right now. Am I the only one who see that the poor officiating gets the Bulls out their game and they can never recover? They've recovered from bad officiating before, but, it is what it is. I'm sorry, but Nikola Vucevic is really pissing me off tonight, because this should have been a game where you should have said, "Get out the way and give me the ball." Yeah, but listen, it's he's taking the most shots, tied for the most shots with Zach LaVine. Like, you're not going to see him be the whole entire offense. You got to try some other things. But even then, like, they are playing pretty solid defense on Vooch, even considering the size disadvantage. That's why height isn't the end all be all, because they do have very physical bigs that are getting physical with Vooch. Just like last game, we look lost. It's all about playing with heart. When they started to care, they picked up against. I say that you can play with heart and still lose, right? So it's not all that, but I get what you're trying to say in that. I get what you're trying to say. Yeah, but see, this is why watching basketball is more important than looking at the box score. They started off their season terrible, right? The season started off bad. We're talking about they were out the play-in. But when you look at what they've done over the last 20 games, you can't judge them by just that record, because they're playing so much better than that over this last stretch. So that's why I said in the last 20 games, they have the best offensive rating in the league, and second and fifth and in the top half of the league as far as defensive rating. So you can't just judge it by that record, Staxy. It's like sometimes when you say things like, well, if you beat this team, that means you could beat this team easily. That's not how it works. The Indiana Pacers have 3 losses since December 4th. That's a month. They've lost 3 games in over 30 days. So you can't really judge them by their overall record, because they were out to such a deficit to start the season. I do watch the NBA all day. You just said yesterday, stream, you didn't have time to watch the Spurs. So what are you talking about? Do you not think we remember what you say, Staxy? The team needs to work on their ball security skills, because there's no way your guard should have this many turnovers, especially. Oh, Shay, shut up, bro. Just please shut up, little brother. Shut up. The Bulls came out flat tonight. I'm not expecting that coming off a comeback win. Yeah, I mean, listen, the energy that they did expound in the last few games, it's hard to maintain. And I mean, we can't overlook the fact that this Bulls team really is, I mean, who they've been even before those two games. Like they can play with a lot of teams, right? They can match wits with a lot of teams. But this team is not, what we saw the last two games from this team is not the norm, and we can't act like it's the norm, right? Because it hasn't been for this team. That's why it's so special when we do see that from them, right? Just got to get it together. The basketball gods are going to make us pay for the 2 nights back to back of great games. Must sacrifice our joy and repentance. That is hilarious. Okay, they have been playing well, but they can't. Will they sustain that and do something in the playoffs? I mean, you would believe that more than not because they did it last year. Look at their playoff run last year, and that's with a much worse defense than what they've been playing lately. And here's the thing: you can't. We're not in the playoffs. The Bulls definitely aren't going to do shit in the playoffs. The fact of the matter is, the Pacers are a way better team than the Chicago Bulls. That's all. That's all the point that I'm making. A considerably better team than the Chicago Bulls. Are we chucking up a ton of threes? No, we're actually not. I think we've only taken 17 threes in the first half of this game. So it's not even with us chucking up threes. We just turnovers, but still not making shots at a really good level. So, you know, I don't try to be the type of person to always blame coaches because players have to. God damn it, Melvin. What in the Shayopolis is going on here, bro? What is that sentence? What is that sentence? Go. Players have to execute, but can't convince me coaching staff is the reason why it's hard for us to win 4 in a row or get to 500. I mean, listen, it still comes down to skill. Still comes down to skill, bro. You think the Bulls took forever to get the 3 ball going because it's not how you spell Debo, bro. But Debo's game was so efficient from the 2. Do you think his impact here is hurting the Kings' chemistry? How do you think he'll do? So listen, that's an NBA Central topic there, brother. To the Bulls fans who said I wasn't a real fan for wanting us to go younger, this game is exactly why. I don't doubt a comeback is possible, but contenders don't play. I mean, well, I think that the Bulls aren't nearly anything close to a contender, right? Nothing close to a contender at all. Kobe is good, but we playing with 2 shooting guards with Zach and Kobe on the floor together. I mean, listen, in this modern day, it's positionless basketball. It is what it is. Technically, we've always done that because DeMar DeRozan was a shooting guard for the most of his career. So it is what it is when it comes down to it. If they lose this game, the Pacers choke. Bulls are better to beat. No, they're not. I'm sorry. That's just not. As much as I'm a homer for the Chicago Bulls are not a better team than the Indiana Pacers. They're just not. Spicy Denzel minutes in the first half should tell you all bro. The fact that Denzel Valentine got 6 minutes in the first half, and we haven't seen Talen Horton Tucker at all yet. That's crazy. Spicy Denzel got minutes. That's crazy. That's crazy. I just don't understand how Billy does not have these guys ready to play. I mean, listen, the coach, I'll tell you what, sometimes we blame things on coaching that has nothing to do with coaching. You think Billy Donovan came out here and told them to play like shit? Some of it is just player X. You can draw up a perfect scheme. And I'm not saying Billy Donovan has done that because he's not that good of a coach. But even if you did draw up a perfect scheme, if the players don't execute it, it's going to look like shit. It's going to look like shit. So, what are we talking about? Saxy, you keep trying to make comparisons that have nothing to do with each other. The Bulls wouldn't even make it to the playoffs to be in the series against Cavs, Boston, or OKC. So there's a difference between being a contender and being good. The Pacers are a good basketball team. Their season started off very rough. Yeah, they're not Boston, they're not Cleveland, but we're not even at the Pacers level. So what are you talking about? You're trying to make two things can be right at the same time. Just because the Pacers aren't as good as Boston and Cleveland doesn't mean they're still not considerably better than the Chicago Bulls. Like what? Anyway, listen, I'm not. Staxy's over here just talking yapping at this point. Hey, Denzel hit a 3 at least. Yeah, I mean, he did hit a 3 at least, bro. He did hit a 3 at least. Random, but seeing Duarte out there made me realize how many light skins we got on this team. You're just now realizing that? You're just now realizing that, Peter? It's been that way for the last, like, what are we talking about? It's actually just swinging wildly now. Hey, bro, like, it's just, it, it is what it is, man. Credit the Pacers defense. It disrupted the flow of the Bulls offense. I mean, and that's why I did point out today in the pregame, in the pre-recorded episode today, that the Pacers have been playing with the 15th best defensive rating in the league. Like, that's crazy. Yeah, it's going to be a long night. The Bulls got to get their shit together. They just got to execute better. It comes down to execution. They got to execute better. What are you talking about? This ain't even mean. This is light work. Genetics are wild to me because how the fuck is Levine the same color as Modest? That's what are we talking about here? What are we talking about? You gonna tell me Boston sucked? That is hilarious. Listen. Sometimes you just gotta let people have their narratives, bro. You just gotta have people have their narratives. It's okay. It's okay. But all right, y'all, man. I'm gonna go ahead and ready to wrap up the halftime hangout. Hopefully these Bulls get their shit together, man. And hopefully we do that. We'll see what happens. Listen, Reginald, the game's not over yet, bro. It's way too early to be saying the game's over with. We've seen the Bulls come back from worse. We've seen them come back for worse. If the Bulls dig in defensively and actually start hitting their shots, and Kobe and Zach can get in rhythm, we can't now. I will say this: it is a bit concerning the fact that Tyrese Halliburton and Benedict Mathurin are combined 4 of 12 on the game so far. But we'll see what's going to happen there. We'll see what's going to happen. But all right, y'all. Love you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'll catch you guys in the post game show. Love you guys. Go Bulls. See Red, y'all.